this computer, because I know I was like, let's wait for some people to hop on. Actually, maybe I'll post in the team page real quick. Oh, bod. Okay, so a couple things we should talk about. We should talk about Beachbody On Demand. Karen, thank you for your comment. It was insane. I want to talk to you guys about haters. I should make a list, but I'm not prepared. I actually was almost going to cancel the call tonight because I'm like, I don't really have anything to say. But you know me, when I say I have nothing to say, I can just start talking and then it just comes out. Okay. It's live. Posting on the team page. All right. So yeah, I was like, well, we can wait for a few more people, but here's what always happens this time of year. I get more cancellation emails than ever. You'll probably get some cancellation emails as well. What I can tell you is you cannot let that defeat you. If you have coaches that go inactive or you have coaches that decide to cancel, it's super easy to let that get in your head and feel like, you're discouraged and that one step forward, 3 steps back, whatever. I can't even tell you the amount of cancellation emails that I have in my inbox currently. I haven't addressed them all, but let me just show you today. Let me just show you. I'll share my screen so you know you're not alone. It has nothing to do with you. We're currently ranked the #2 team in the network. Do you see this? This is today. These are I don't know if you guys can see. This is today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just today. 8 cancellations today. So what do I do with that information? I say, perfect. My job is not to convince everybody that Beachbody is for them. My job is also not to drag people on coaching who decide coaching's not for them. My job is to present this to everybody, to share this with everybody, especially because I know what it's done for me and how it's lit me up, and how it's changed my life and my world. And I'm going to continue doing my job. The fact that I got 8 cancellations today doesn't say anything about me and my job, and it doesn't change my mission. It just means these people decided it wasn't for them. I hope you guys don't decide that this isn't for you because it's hard. If it's not for you, then it's not for you. But, if it's hard and you're getting a lot of no's and you're feeling discouraged, that's not a reason to cancel because, and this is going to be probably a theme through the end of the year. But I just need you to remind yourself why you started this in the first place. And that was because you love the products, you love the fitness community, you wanted to get a discount and continue working on yourself, and it made you feel good. And then you start putting these business metrics on things, and when you start sharing and then you wonder why people are saying no and they're not joining you and you're not selling things, then you forget that the number one part of our job is to work on ourselves first and to become our best selves. And you feel like, well, this business is too hard, I'm out. When you didn't even join initially for the business, you joined because you wanted to work on you first. So I hope that you guys don't quit on this, especially this time of year, because it is hard and you will get cancellations. But remember that your job is not to make everybody a Beachbody believer. Your job is to be a Beachbody believer and share it with as many people as possible. And if you're not a Beachbody believer, then cancel, then get out, find things that you are passionate about because life's too short. I can say that if you love Beachbody, it's a good time to be a part of this team. There's a lot of momentum right now. We're ranked #2 team in the network. And I feel like we're going to end the year. I still would love to end as #1, but we'll see how that goes. But we're doing amazing things, and we're building big time. So if you cancel now, you're leaving. There's going to be a lot of growth that's happening after you. So, but also I want to just address haters because Karen commented here, you probably will get haters if you haven't already. And the more followers you get, the more haters that you have, just because there's more eyes on your stuff. And I went live today and just kind of ended up rambling, but part of the rant was I hear all the time, and I don't know how many of you guys follow me or followed me for a while before you were coaching, but I hear all the time that people love how real I am. And I wasn't always this way because for so long, and if you know my story, you know, I've battled with depression and insecurity and didn't believe in myself. So I was afraid to show up as who I am. I was just more PC about things and didn't want to ruffle feathers and was afraid to like cuss on social media or have a strong opinion about something or whatever, because I didn't want to turn people off. I wanted to be everybody's cup of tea. But the problem is, and you've probably heard this before, but if you're talking to everybody, you're talking to no one. So when people say, you know, I love how real you are, I know that being real and showing up how I am, my authentic self, like with my sense of humor and my cuss words and my love of drinking, and my crude sense of humor, like, you know, just everything that makes me me, that means there are going to be people that are drawn to that and like me, but there's going to be a lot of people that don't like me. And it's going to be the exact same thing for you. So the more authentic you can be and the more true you can show up on social media, I haven't grown my page, you guys, in over a month. I see that I get new likes it'll say like, you have this many new likes this week. So I know I'm getting new likes, but I'm getting more unlikes than I'm getting likes right now. Because the total number just keeps going down and down and down. And I feel like that means I'm doing something right. At least I'm showing up as me and I have a flavor and I'm turning people off. And that also means, though, the people that love you are going to stick with you. They're going to be loyal, and it will, you know, when you let people into your world, they just trust you more. They have a deeper connection with you. And being real doesn't mean like always being negative and always complaining and stuff like that. Like, you still have to be positive and put a positive spin on things, even if things are not going well. But it just means allowing yourself to show up how you are. And I follow so many fitness coaches, and I don't follow a lot of other coaches in the network anymore, but I follow a lot of you guys just as a way to show support. And I see a lot of cookie cutter posts. And nothing bothers me more now when I see somebody, like, I'll be friends with somebody and they'll be like, oh yeah, I lost 10 pounds. And then they'll go on social media and they'll post, like a before and after or an updated photo. And they'll be like, I don't even care how much weight I lost. I don't pay attention to the scale. So one hand they're texting me, oh, I lost 10 pounds. Or they'll say, the scale's not moving. I'm so annoyed. Or I'm still up 5 pounds. Yet they go on social media and say the scale doesn't matter to them. Well, that's not being authentic, right? Or they'll try to do, because I see a lot of people trying to do the self-love thing now. That doesn't have to be everybody's thing. But they'll post like, oh, or they'll tell me I'm so insecure, I don't want to post about my cellulite. And then they'll put a picture up of their cellulite and be like, this doesn't mean I'm flawed. I love it. I embrace it. But that's not being authentic either. So I see a lot of inauthenticity from coaches because you feel like that's what you should be posting. When really, if you are battling with the scale, instead of saying, I don't give a shit about the scale, you say, here is me today. I feel stronger. I feel healthier. I feel happy. And that damn scale is still getting to me. I know it's ridiculous. So I am working on it. I know I am more, right? But you're true. And then you're posting a message because the people that are watching you, I feel like it feels disingenuous, but they're also struggling with the scale. So then here you are, someone that is showing up that doesn't say, oh, the scale doesn't bother me. The scale's no big deal for me. When really you're on that same battle, you're just trying to overcome it. I'm just giving an example of a scale, but like whatever it is, I want you guys to start actually showing up with your truths. Like actually share who you are and what your thoughts are, not cookie cutter, like every workout's beautiful and all of your posts are perfect. I also wouldn't filter every single post or like Facetune and make all your pictures with your teeth where people are like, you know, embrace yourself, love where you are. And then it's a super filtered, like airbrushed photo or whatever. And I'm like, okay, but that doesn't really resonate. Like, yes, you know, I still want to pose for selfies that make me feel good. And I, you know, still want to feel pretty. I wear makeup. I obviously get my hair done and I get my nails done and stuff like I put money into my appearance. So I'm not saying when I'm talking about self-love, but those are also things that I do because I like them. So I just want, it just really bothers me and I see it all the time. because I know people when I talk to them one-on-one, face-to-face, or via messenger or text or something like that, and they say one thing, but then their social media story is a different thing. I feel like people can feel if it's not true. I feel like people can like just, I don't know, they just sense like this is not honesty behind this post. And you know, there'll be several posts like that. And if you aren't making people like trust you, they're never going to buy from you, because that at the end of the day is why people invest their hard-earned $160 with you, is because they trust you and they know you, or they feel like they know you. And I don't know how many of you guys get this message, but I love when people are like, I feel like, you know, I know you. I feel like we'd be best friends in real life or whatever. Because that means they've been following me. They feel like they know who I am. And I don't just share the highs, and I don't just share the beautiful things. And I do share beautiful photos, but I also, you know, share ones where I'm not put together and I don't have makeup on, and I do, you know, not my most flattering angles and whatever. But anyway, that I didn't even really plan to talk about that today, of course. But I just felt like it should be addressed, that I want to encourage you guys to be real and be authentic, and be true to who you are. And if you're having a battle in your head, instead of just going on and complaining about that battle, the way to do it to relate to people is to tell a story of like, this is something I'm struggling with right now, and this is what I'm doing about it. It doesn't mean, and the very first post that I posted, that self-love post that went viral with the body thing, in that post I say, you know, I'm still like I don't have this figured out, but I know it's the most important job I'll ever have. I didn't say I'm totally fine and happy with the way I look. I said like, I'm going to show you both sides, and it's something that I know I need to continue working on. And it's something I still talk about in my social media. I still, like, pregnancy has been a whole new world of like embracing the changes and everything that I'm going through. But I just think the more authentic you can be, the more you're going to connect with people, but the more unlikes you're going to get and the more haters you're going to get. And I have to say, using the block button is going to be your best friend. It always blows me away when people don't use the block button. Like they'll say things, they'll be like, so-and-so commented this today. I'm like, block their ass. I'm like, oh, yeah, I just commented back or da-da-da. And I'm like, no. Like I block people all the time, you guys, because there are so many good people in the world, and you can have 1,000, I mean, you guys know this. You can have 1,000 compliments, people telling you how great you are, funny, pretty, loyal, like awesome. And then you have one person that's like, you're so self-righteous and stuck up. And that's what you get hung up on. You're like, oh, if this one person thinks that, then everyone must think that, and they're just not telling me, right? Like that's what you get hung up on, and you just don't need that. You don't, and even me, I get thousands of really like amazing, awesome supporters, so much love. And then one person will say something and it's like triggers me. And I'm like, how many other people are thinking this? And I have to check myself. And then I realize you don't even need to draft a reply. You just need to block. So you think to yourself, is this person someone that I would want to purchase from me? Because if people are being an asshole to you, you don't even want them to purchase from you. You don't want to work with them. You don't want them on your team. You don't need them in your life. Block. There's a lot of really good people out there. And the more you learn to value yourself and use the block button, because you realize I don't need to put up with this. And I didn't block this girl today. She literally said probably the rudest comment I think probably that I've ever received in 5 years of having my page open. About 5 years. And also being pregnant, I didn't really know how to handle it, but I didn't block it because I wanted to reply. And her and I have messaged before. Like she has been on, and she claims she's been following me for a long time. And also it was so hurtful that I'm being immature about it, and I'm just letting her kind of get reamed by my followers right now, which is, I feel like it's immature, but I also am just like, I've never had someone say something so rude. So I will probably eventually block, or maybe I'll leave it, but I block people all the time, you guys, because I just feel like there are too many good people out there. I don't need to focus any energy on defending myself because I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I absolutely know I'm going to turn people off because there's people in the world I don't like. There's people that I'm like, yeah, she's great, but she's too nice. Like if you're too nice and you don't have a sense of humor, it's just, we're not going to be best friends because I'm too like rough around the edges and I will trample you. I will like offend you all the time. And So there's people that we are allowed to not like in this world, and you are allowed to not be liked and still be a rad person, you know? So I just say, if you have any negativity or hate, and I know Rachel Clemmer just posted about, it was her brother or brother-in-law or some stepbrother or something, commented, and he's family, and she ended up blocking him. She's like, it's just, I've had too much. I don't need this energy anymore, and she just blocked him. You can block family too. You don't need, this journey is hard enough. We're hard enough on ourselves without putting up with the doubters and the haters and people that are being mean to us, that I just really would encourage you to just block people. And don't defend yourself. Don't feel like you have to put up with them, or like, what if they're a customer, or could they join my team? Maybe it was da-da-da-da. No, you are too rad, and there are too many good people that love you, that you want to connect with. And if you're wasting energy on people that are not appreciating you, like there's, I was reading something today, and it was like, you know, something like, if someone doesn't get your message, that's not about you. It just wasn't meant for them. So if someone doesn't get who you are, doesn't like who you are, or the vibes you're putting out there, that's okay. It's not about you. It's just, you're not for them. And there's a reason that you chose the coach that you did and the team that you did. Like Melanie Mitro is amazing, but I can't imagine her and I ever being super good friends, right? Because we're just very different people. So when people are like offended when I cuss, or when I'm like have a crude sense of humor, or if I'm abrasive or something, I just think there's a coach out there for everybody. And I don't have to be the coach for everyone. And in fact, I couldn't be one coach for millions of people. Like, I just couldn't. So I just encourage people to go find the people that they relate to. Go find your tribe. And if I'm not your tribe, rad, then there is a coach out there, and maybe it's Melanie, maybe it's someone else. But I just think about like how different some of the top coaches are, and we all need to exist. And even if we are similar, you guys, we all have our own differences, and we all need to exist as coaches. There are people that you can reach that I cannot reach, that that are just going to be able to find you, and they need exactly your story. And that is why you also have to show up and be authentic and be true to who you are. Because when you're fake, you're not actually serving anybody, and it just reinforces in your head all the time how afraid you are to show up and be seen. Brene Brown really has some great, like, she helped me so much with personal development. Some of her stuff can be a little bit sciencey, so it can be a little bit hard to get into. I would say one of the best ones, I haven't read, she just released one that I haven't gotten yet, but I think it was Rising Strong was the one right before this. Rising Strong. That is really great. So Brene Brown, Brene Brown. And then the very first one I listened to her is called The Power of Vulnerability. And both of those are phenomenal, anything that she does, but you just have to kind of be able to get through the sciencey stuff, because she's very smart too. But she talks just so much about like emotional intelligence and showing up and letting yourself be seen. One of the things she says is, don't shrink, don't puff up, just stand your sacred ground. And I feel like that's something we struggle with a lot as coaches, is just letting ourselves be who we are. And I know that that's got to be the case, because I just see so many of the same types of posts where you feel like you have to be perfect, or you have to like not say this for fear of offending somebody, or whatever, dance around a topic or something. And I just, I would just encourage you guys to be real and authentic, and know that that's going to come with some people not liking you, and that's a good thing. So I that's really, and then what else did I say I want to talk about? So I want to talk about haters, and then there was something else that I was like, oh, I should talk about that. But, the BOD outage. Okay, so if you guys have been trying to do a little obsessed this week, not everyone has been experiencing technical difficulties, but BOD has been having major issues. The fastest way to like plummet your energy and your boot camp's energy is to jump on the bandwagon and complain. So it's super annoying. Yesterday I went up, and it was my first day working out after a month plus off. I took my Energize. I had a window that I was able to do it, because then I had to go to my hair appointment, and BOD was down. And it was frustrating. But I don't need to go into my boot camp and say how frustrating it is. I don't need to post on social media and say how frustrating it is. I don't need to put any energy to complaining because I know Beachbody is working on it. They spend millions of dollars working on this tech stuff. And we just have to be solution, especially as coaches leading. We need to be solution oriented and not. And so then if you are finding people getting frustrated in your boot camps, just go on YouTube and find another say, oh, here's our workout that we'll do for today. And Beachbody will always make it right. So instead of taking it down after 24 hours, I'm sure they will figure out how to keep it up or something like that. Like they always will keep, they will make it right by people. But it's like when things happen and I see people start to complaining, like when there's been price adjustments in the past or Shakeology formula changes and then people like start complaining in the team page or something, I immediately stop it because it's just a waste of energy. It's a waste of time to complain about anything and just be solution oriented. And so you can also, I saw other people filming like little circuits and then posting that to their boot camp. And you can say in there, like, you guys, I know this is super annoying, but trust that they're working on it. Here's what we're going to do today. Here's our plan, and not giving voice to the problems. And if you've been super frustrated with BOD, I get it, but just not voicing that and figuring out what a solution is. Put on some music and dance, go outside, go for a walk, like play with your dogs, put up your Christmas tree. I was going to work out today, but that was actually a pretty big workout. I decided to put up my Christmas tree today, and it's 9 feet, and I had to fluff it all. And so I don't know if I'll have much more stamina after that. But I just feel like we're coaches and we have to lead from a positive mindset. So is it annoying? Yeah. Is there anything you can do about, like, I always think, like, when you're sitting in traffic and you're bitching about traffic, does bitching get you there any faster? Nope. Traffic doesn't move any faster, or if you're complaining about the weather, does that immediately make the sun come out? Nope. Bitching about BOD being down, does it make BOD work? No. So, like, let's stop wasting energy on like, you can feel them, but then just move on, right? Just like move forward and provide a solution for your boot camp and yourself, so that you're not just stewing in drama and like spinning your wheels when nothing's going to change. So I think that's all that I had tonight. I don't know if there's any questions that you guys have for me or anything. Woody, come say hi. Come here. Come here. If there's anything, come on. Say hi. It's a Woody. If there's anything that you guys have for me, if you want to unmute yourself, you can do Q&A or type it in the chat. We have a little bit more time if you want. Otherwise, we can end it and you can get back to your family and your lives. Okay. I try to be real, but feel like I'm struggling to find my voice. Any suggestions other than to just keep trying? I feel like it was hard for me to find my voice too in the beginning. Just kind of like figuring out what I felt comfortable posting about, what people were receptive to. And so I think that it really is just continuing to show up and try as part of it, and just figuring out, like, eventually you'll get into a swing or you'll have a post. That's another thing, is I let my followers dictate a lot of my, like, they are my feedback. If something resonates with them, then I'm like, oh, okay, they liked that voice or that story or that topic or something like that. So I kind of let them tell me if I'm on the right track or not based on how much, reaction that you get. And if you get a lot of engagement, like if you post a vulnerability and then you get messages from that, then you can take messages, likes, comments, things like that. Then you can take that as a sign that resonated well. Usually just my cat pictures get love, so I try to incorporate them into workout posts and stuff like that. Yeah. I do remember Danielle saying, if you have an animal, incorporate them into your brand and don't just ignore them, but talk about them. Like, I love that people now know who Roca and Brewer are by name, because they're such a big part of my world. So, like, make your animals or your kids, if you feel comfortable, characters in your brand, like make them be part of it. But also, if you're not getting engagement on your other stuff, I'm guessing it's not that interesting. And I'm not speaking to you specifically, Karen, because I haven't seen your posts. But I would rework your content and see like, you know, and you can ask, you might not get a lot of feedback, but you could ask like, what do you guys want to see from me? And give them some topics or something like that. But also it's just like posting and seeing what sticks, seeing what people are interested in. I think when I first started posting, I didn't really post much about my dog, and it took some time because I only had one we only had Brewer when I first started Beachbody. But it took some time, and I was like, I really wanted my dogs to be a part of my brand, but they hadn't been, so I didn't know how to like work them into it. And I was like, I wonder if I'll ever get like dog lovers as part of my following. And now I feel like I do have, because over time, but when I used to post about my dogs, they didn't get a lot of love because I didn't have that as a part of my brand. So I didn't have in my followers, they weren't also dog lovers, but now I have that. And it's the same with like everything. I decide like, what am I passionate about? And I just decide to start like sprinkling it in. And you'll get unlikes. Like I remember swearing, I'm not passionate about swearing, but I really do think the F word is one of my favorite words in the English language. And I just get so fun. And like, who decided it was a bad word anyway? It just sounds good. Like I just love the F word. And I don't even like, why is it off limits? What if it's Revi's first word? I feel like that will be hysterical. I feel like people will judge me for that, but who decided that was a bad word? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand a lot of things that are just decided for us. But anyway, when I decided I wanted to start having swear words be a part of my brand, I just started slowly sprinkling them in. And then you get unlikes and you get people that are not into that. But then you find that the people that stick around are also the ones that swear and aren't offended by it and can handle it. And then when I wanted to incorporate drinking, you know, then I started like slowly, because I'm a health and fitness coach, and slowly putting like that we went out to bars and like cocktails and stuff like that. And then before I was pregnant, I started making Thirsty Thursday, and I would go live on Thursdays and make a new cocktail recipe. Like that became lit, but it takes time to kind of build your brand. So I would say figure out what it is that you want to talk about, and know that you're probably going to get people, like there's going to be some posts in the beginning when you start building your brand that aren't going to get a lot of traction because you haven't built that following yet. But doesn't mean that you can't or that you never will, but you never will if you give up. So if you like want your cats to be a part of your brand and you make a post or two about your cats, and then you're like, well, no one loves this, never mind, I'll stop posting about it, then they'll never be a part of your brand. But they're still a huge part of your, you know what I mean? So like you get to decide what you want to talk about, and just know that there's going to be probably some fall off, but then you will, and if you're doing this like hashtagging things, you know, like just so that people can find you, things that you're interested in, like hashtagging whatever crazy cat lady or, you know, whatever you want to, so that people are finding you that are like-minded, that are like your tribe. So, but I just think if you're not getting engagement on any of your stuff, your posts probably aren't that interesting, and you have to figure out, why are they not that interesting? Am I not providing like content? Am I not providing, cause there are tons of Instagram accounts that are, I just listened to this Caitlin Bristol podcast where there's a pug who has like 10 million followers or something across all of his channels, and it's a pug. So like you could literally have anything be a part of your brand if you're creative with it and make it be like, you know, good photos with good captions. So, you know, whatever it is. But I think if you're just putting up your sweaty selfies every day and talking about how great your workout went and how, you know, your meal's delicious and like everything's so good and hunky-dory, then it's just not relatable and it's not that interesting. So if you're lacking engagement on your page, it's probably because you're not connecting with people and you're not really like probably there's a lack of authenticity there also. So, and I'm not saying this specifically to you, Karen, because I haven't seen any of your posts. That's just my guess. Okay, Amber, I find that I struggle with posting more than twice a day on social media, mainly because I don't feel like I have much to post about because my life is boring AF. How do you figure out what to post on days where you don't have much going on? So when I very first started posting, on Sunday nights, I think, when I was just watching TV or whatever, I wrote down, and I would literally write down like Monday through Friday on a piece of paper, and I would write like AM, midday, PM. And then I would go on Pinterest and I would schedule posts. And I would check them off as I scheduled them. So usually my AM was something motive. So I would like first go and I would have like a checkbox so that I had 3 scheduled posts every single day. And you don't have to schedule them if you don't want, but like you can just save them and put them in your notes or something like that. And then I would just fill in with whatever I was doing in my day. So my AM posts would be all motivation. So I would go to like motivational posts and find quotes and then put those for my morning ones. And midday was a lot of times humor, something funny, like those e-cards that used to be popular a few years ago. I used to post those or other humorous things or whatever. And then my PM post was usually a recipe. And then I would fill in with like my workout or something I ate that day, or well, always my workout, something I ate that day, maybe Shakeology, maybe something John and I were doing. Like, so that's how I ensured that I was showing up multiple times a day, even when I didn't have like stuff to say. It would take me probably 2 hours on a Sunday night to find all of those posts on Pinterest and then schedule them and put my captions to them. And again, you don't have to schedule them, but you could just like store them in your notes or have like put it in an Excel spreadsheet where you have everything so that when you just have to copy and paste to post where it's not a thought. But I remember spending a lot more time doing that in the beginning because I knew it was important for me to show up. And if you're struggling with coming up with content, I would recommend doing that. The same way like meal planning or prepping gets you set for the week. You can do that with your posts. So there are a good number of times a month or week to go live. I feel like going live would help authenticity, but not sure what a good goal is. So I have said before that I think your goal should be every single day to go live, only if you are willing to be interesting on video. Because one thing that I think Gary V says, what are you doing? You're gonna grill the veggies and the squash? One thing that Gary V says is that know what you're talented at. So he is really good with voice and video, so that's what he does. I think I'm good on video. Just like I have enough energy to keep people entertained, but if you are monotone, and also I will say that I was not this way on video when I first started. Everything that we do starts out of our comfort zone, and you feel insecure when you start, but I would take a shot at Energize, maybe have a little dance party, even if you feel silly, put on like whoever it is that revs you up, and then sit down and go live so that you have, like they say, like be your cartoon self. Because if you just show up on video and you're just not sure of yourself and you're monotone and you talk slow, you're going to lose people. It's not interesting. So I wouldn't say do video every day if you suck on video. So you have to know what you're good at. If you're good at writing, then, do like make your page more of a blog, have good captions, and good, like, there's a girl named Coffee Talk. She does more live videos now, but I think she started more as like a blogger that just had really good captions that got people. And now she does live video because she found that's a talent. So I think you have to figure out what you're talented at. But if you like doing video, and you are good at video, meaning people watch your stuff, then I would say your goal should be every day, because if you set your goal for 7 days a week, you're going to fall short of that, but you'll still get up 3, right? But if you set your goal for 3 days a week and you fall short of that, maybe you get up 0 or you get up 1. That comes from the 10X rule, personal development by Grant Cardone, where if you're going to fall short of your goal, set your goal high instead of setting your goal low, because you're going to fall short either way. So wouldn't you rather fall short and get up 3 than fall short and get up 0? So I say make your goal every single day, and that was my goal before I got pregnant. I have not had the energy. I would not be good on video. I just hate being pregnant, you guys. And I'm just coming to terms with that. Like, it is not my jam. And so I haven't done a lot of video because I don't want to show up negative and boo-hoo and woe is me and this pregnancy blows, because it's not entertaining. Like, that's not interesting. And if I'm in a shitty headspace, then I don't need to give you know, share that energy with other people. I do feel good today. I feel like when I'm feeling good and I feel happy, I want to go live. So I think just the answer to that that's very long-winded is know what you're good at, and then set your goal high, because if you're going to fall short, you'll still be accomplishing, you know, more than you thought or whatever. And if you are unsure of yourself on video, I really think like IG stories or Snapchat is a great place to start, because you're talking all day. And like Lori Stewart used to hate video, and I honestly feel like doing Snapchat changed her and gave her more confidence with video. It's just 10-second blurbs, and you just get used to like seeing yourself talking to the camera and like sharing things and whatever, you know? So, Allison, you say, I post 3 to 5 times a day on Facebook. Do I need to do the same on Instagram? I would say, yeah. I don't actually do a lot of variance between my posts. So I post those white memes on Instagram. They don't do as well on Facebook. And then I do my videos on Facebook and not on Instagram, because that's what I've found do better. But all of my photos, I put the exact same content, exact same caption on both. And some people are going to see them. Some people follow you both places, but I feel like that's okay, because not everybody does. And if I were you guys, I would be focusing a lot on building your Instagram, just because I think that that's where the market's trending, and especially our age group. Facebook still is my biggest platform, but I feel like I need to give more love to Instagram, and that's where I would focus my attention. So those of you that are focusing more on Facebook, I would kind of shift that and focus more on Instagram, but at least be posting the same amount, the same stuff on there, I would say. Okay, did Trick or Treat Tuesdays in October making Shaco treats while live, and they were probably the best posts and gave me lots of, okay, so what I would say about that, Karen, Trick or Treat Tuesdays is awesome. I mean, obviously I don't know if that works after October, but what I would do so that you're not turning people off is don't always make them Shakeology. Like now take that and, you know, I don't know how you spin it, but I am hesitant to be too much about Shakeology, because I don't want people to just tune out when they see me, like, you know, they see something that I'm posting thinking, oh, here she is with her Shakeology again, I'm not interested. But if you then make it like a treat Tuesday, maybe it's treat yourself Tuesday, right? Instead of trick or treat, and then you start making like healthier treats live on Tuesday where it's not, but then then people start loving these and they love your treat Tuesdays. And then you once a month have a Shakeology one. They already trust all the other things because you've been doing them right and they've been tasting them and they think it's amazing. Then when you throw your Shakeology one in, they're not going to tune out because it doesn't feel like you're selling anything. That's just a part of your life. And it still is a treat, a healthier treat. So that's what I would say. So for any of you guys, don't overpost about Shakeology. I also don't mention the name of my fitness programs that I'm doing usually. I don't know if you noticed, but my 80-day obsession invite that I put up, I didn't say the name of the program, and I said, I have a new program coming out in January. I have like this and this and this. And I don't share those names because I don't want people to automatically tune out and think I'm selling something. So that, I think, Trick or Treat Tuesday is a great idea. I would just, to continue that, not be so one-dimensional because you don't want people to tune out. And that goes for anything that you guys do. You know, and I reference, like I go live a lot on my page. Well, I used to do more, but I will kind of reference, like the topic will be about whatever. Like even if I was doing a cocktail, like the Thirsty Thursday thing, even if I was doing that, I might reference a few times in the video, and it's intentional. If you follow Shalene on Snap, she's very good at this, like selling without selling. Gary Vee is the same way. It's intentional, but I will randomly drop like, in my boot camp, I just talked to them about da-da-da-da-da. So they know that I've got a boot camp without me having to sell, hey, join my boot camp, join my, so it's just like planting a little seed. So if they're watching me, they're getting all this other content, but eventually they hear that I've got a boot camp enough, and the things that are coming out of it and the things that I talk about in those groups that they are interested to reach out. So that's what I would do, Karen. I would continue that and just not have Shakeology be the main focus. Okay. For live videos, do you think chit chats are fine a couple times a week, or would you recommend splits? So I think it's up to you. I don't know if there's not probably a right or wrong answer if you should just do chit chat or if you should do a specific topic. I think in the beginning it's easier to have specific topics because it's kind of hard to come up with content of what you want to talk about on video. So I think it's good to have topics, and then also for people to count on those videos. Like I tried to, I told Emily to do Fancy Fridays where she does like hair tutorials or makeup tutorials because her page is Fit and Fancy and she's really good at hair and makeup. And then I was doing was I doing Friday faves for a while and Thursday, so that people start counting on those videos. But I also sometimes just randomly go up and just chit chat. I almost think you kind of have to earn the right to just chit chat with people. You have to have enough good other content where people are tuning into your videos or watching the replays to then just go on and talk about nothing. But you could do like a video on personal development takeaway, or, like it doesn't have, it can really be about anything, but you want to have a good caption, just a short caption, but a good caption that's going to get people to want to click on watch. Like instead of just like chit chat Tuesday or whatever, like maybe that's not interesting to people, but if you say what your chit chat's about, and then you can chit chat. That's just my answer. That's not black and white. I don't think there's a right or wrong. I think it's about playing around and seeing what works for you and your following. That's just what I would think. Okay. Well, that's all the questions then. So, I so appreciate you guys. Yeah, so Natalie, figure out something to go live about. Yeah, I would just like think about what Shalene has you like brainstorm. And I think personal development is a huge thing. I notice I have a lot more topics to talk about when I do personal development, because whatever my aha is for that day, I'm like, yeah, gosh, I told, and then my brain starts going, and then I can go live about that. So you could do, it doesn't have to be catchy, but you could do like Motivational Monday and have something, or, like Treat Tuesday, or, I don't know, whatever. It doesn't have to be catchy sounding like that, but give yourself like topics maybe to talk about every day, and then, or at least Monday through Friday. And then, some weeks you'll miss, but whatever. I also think there's really no harm in trying. Like sucking is normal at the beginning, and the only way to get better is to just do it. So, and also you never know when one video is going to be, and I used to think this before I had a viral picture happen. I used to think like, I'm going to keep going live because maybe there's that one video where I'm going to say something it's going to be funny, or someone's going to connect to, and it's just going to go viral. And you never know like when that's going to happen, but it will never happen if you don't go live or you don't make those posts. So I would say don't overthink it. Just like maybe write down, that's part of your Sunday night prep for the week, is like, what are the 5 things I can talk about this week? And, write down your topics for those days. So, but all right, guys, well, have a good night. Thanks for joining me. I really, really do appreciate you guys taking time out of your life to get on live. Obviously there's 2,000 people on our team and 17 people are here. So it means a lot to me, and I recognize all of your faces. So thank you. And I will see you guys next week.